Hey, it's Joel with another bite-sized piece of hope from Glenwood. I want to talk to you today still on Psalms 46, and we'll look at the scripture, verse 7 following. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. As we look at this scripture, it states that God is their refuge or their fortress of hope, where they can go back and have a stronghold. Back in those days, they would have many rumors of wars and things like that, kind of like what you have. If you look on social media or news media right now, there's things on every single which way, and it takes away our peace, it takes away our hope. Today, as we look at the scripture, I want you to depend upon your refuge of hope, your fortress of hope, which is the Lord. Verses 9 and following, it says, He makes the wars to cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow, he shatters the spear, he burns the chariots with fire. Now, what says this was saying that Israel, all the wars that they knew, all the different powers that came in to take over, all these things would cease because of the Lord. It's pretty neat to me if you look at this. He breaks the bow. What does a bow represent? It represents long away warfare. Things that, strike our minds from a distance. Sound like any news you know? It says also that it shatters a spear. Those things that pin us to the wall. Those things that just anchor us in place. And it says also that he burns the chariots with fire. Well, we have immediate news now. As a child, I can remember when my father was in Vietnam. My mother and I, we would get information from him from an envelope and a cassette tape. And basically, my dad would tell us a diary, and then he would answer our questions on that cassette tape, and we'd send it back. So it took anywhere from a month to 6 weeks to get any news. Now, when he was in Desert Storm, it was much more imminent. However, it still took a while. It took 2 to 3 days. There, when Damascus was bombed, he was in that city in a warehouse. It took us 3 days to find out he was okay. Now it takes even less time. So it says here that he burns the chariots with fire. What does chariots represent? Immediate. Be careful of the news that comes into your life that pins you from afar. Be careful of the news that shatters your hope and pins you to the wall. And be careful of the immediacy of the news. Check your news sources. This is the only way we survive with hope and have a refuge or a fortress. This is Joel with your bite-sized piece of hope.